Hey, what's going on? This is Metal Sharpens Metal. My name is Daniel. Today we've got the song Exile by the band Tesseract. They are from the UK. They play progressive metal, and they actually, spoiler alert, don't have any screaming on the whole album. Surprise. I know, you were thinking, wait a minute, I thought that metal... I know, it's a common thing. But yeah, no, it's still metal. It's beautiful, soaring, angelic vocals over some crushing, heavy guitars that will put you in the dirt. All right, let's check it out. I'm pumped. Why? Is it so cool? Yes. Oh, the growly bass. This mix is perfect. I can't believe how high he can sing. Oh, that note. It's just so high. Fade the growly bass back in. That note is so jazzy that he's singing. Such a cool sound. keep adding in these little layers, and then you look back and you're like, how did they build all that up? And then bring it way back. So pay attention to that, that lead line. And it's like they got, I don't know, Beyonce on guest vocals all of a sudden. Such a Tesseract chorus. It's got everything. Oh yeah. Oh. Sorry, I thought we were all playing different songs. And then it all just comes back. But then that lead line's just doing whatever he wants. Oh. It's okay, you don't have to know how to bob your head. Just know it sounds amazing. A little crunchier. It's okay. You don't have to understand what just happened. But yes, that song was I never get bored of listening to that song. It's so good. It's probably my favorite song off of their album Altered State. Tesseract does a great job of making like really technical music, but making it accessible. It's very listenable. There's times where you're like, how do I bob my head to this? It's breaking my brain. Like I said, the ding, 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 over the down, down, like that just makes zero sense almost. Like they're playing two different things. They kind of sync up down the road somewhere, but I think it goes well with the theme of the song if you're wanting to convey some discombobulation, if you will, some unsettling kind of feelings at times. We'll get into that with the meaning here in a little bit. But overall, there's like hooks and choruses and things you can remember, melodies that kind of bring your neck back from the whiplash and allow you to hold on to something. This song is definitely quintessential Tesseract. The album is amazing. I would recommend a listen if you liked that at all. They have themes that repeat and the songs kind of feed into each other. So it's like one big concept album, and yeah, definitely worth a listen. So the lead singer of this band is Ash O'Hara, and he is only their singer for this album, for this full length. He has an amazing voice, as you heard, humongous capabilities. Like I cannot believe his range. The way he writes his singing patterns, melodies, harmonies, phrasing, just a great listening experience. The way he sings ties in a lot of these complex elements that I was describing earlier in a really memorable way. And I can tell that he put a lot of work into this finished product. The whole band did. So this might actually be one of my more controversial opinions on the channel, only because I haven't seen all this laid out explicitly online or in blogs, interviews, anything like that. But I think I've got some reasoning, so stick with me here and we'll see if you agree or not. One time I did get to meet Ash at a concert. The album Altered State had just come out like that day. I'd only listened to it for a couple songs worth. I heard him live singing this line, and I had to go up to him later. I was like, hey man, did you sing something about like the plague within my dreams? Is that what you were saying? And he was just like, did you listen to the album? And I was like, well, not really. I haven't had time. I'm sorry. So clearly I made a huge impact on him. I'm sure he remembers that.
So I captivated the guy who captivated 1,000 guys.
He seems like a cool enough guy. He had a great performance that night. That was one of my favorite concerts ever, I believe. So I wish no ill will to him, but yeah, this is, we'll see. We'll see if this is a stretch or not. Maybe he can tell us if he ever watches. The album itself is kind of comprised of 4 parts. Each one has 2 or 3 songs in it. So you have of matter, of mind, of reality, and of energy. I looked up some of the sites describing the song meanings, and many of them seem to point to the struggle between heart and mind, you know, your feelings versus your thoughts. Some of the assessments got a little bit more specific, and they were guessing that the singer was leaving behind religion. I would venture actually a little bit further if I could be so bold. Maybe you're gonna be like, I don't know, but you know what? It's my opinion, and it's coming out anyway. But the whole preamble to all of this is because Ash on Facebook is very clear that he is gay.
Exactly.
I mean, for real.
Yeah, I know.
No, he's attracted to other men.
Okay, a little too far, cross the line.
He is very open about it, out and proud.
He's only one of the 5 best singers ever, and gay.
So knowing that, I'm willing to bet that the song is about him describing him leaving Christianity. So it's called Exile. He's being exiled from Christianity to pursue and embrace this lifestyle. So he's hearing it maybe denounced in the church that he was in, or just in Christianity in general. And that caused mental turmoil as he was trying to figure out who he was and what he really believed. Let's just break it down in the lyrics, and we'll see if I have a case here. He says, turn your back on everything, banging heads with prophecy, lavish in uncertainty. The first 2 parts just kind of sound like how somebody maybe who used to be religious would describe a church service. You're turning your back on the world, either to the problems therein or to the other views therein, and you're nodding along to whatever the pastor is saying in the sermons. And then he says lavish in uncertainty. Lavish is an interesting word choice there. It's not what I would normally think, but I'm wondering if he means kind of like revel in uncertainty, like there's just excess uncertainty everywhere. I don't know if that's his or the congregation's or both, but probably at least the congregation is willing to stay uncertain in these issues and not pursue truth on it. So in these next few verses, we've got these references to the hell that comes with the peace, stagnancy that's choking me, the nightmare, the reality, obviously describing a really rough time mentally in his life. At one point, he even asks, how can he justify? And I would think that he means God. How can God justify this? I'm really interested to know what that would mean in terms of, is he saying, can God justify this behavior? Can he justify, calling them to love, but then they're acting hateful towards him? Ironically, that word justify, as a reformed kind of Christian thinker, it makes me think of how God makes us righteous, how he justifies us before the throne. There's only one way that can happen, and that's payment for the sins. The payment will either be made by us or by Jesus, but either way, that having the justification angle to this is very interesting. Then that middle section where it builds, even his notes, every note was ascending, right? So he does one word at a time. Take this doubt and fear to your grave. That again sounds like kind of an indictment of the Christians around him that he sees as closed-minded, doubtful, fearful of Ash and his lifestyle, his choices. Then we get this awesome chorus. This life of stone, the hand of God, I'm too tempted to bribe. I'm getting old and growing paralyzed. We're all alone until we let our minds take to the skies. Our blood runs cold, yet we remain alive. I think that's really cool poetry, actually, even though I don't agree with the conclusions. The first and last lines, this life of stone and our blood runs cold, yet we remain alive. I think that does a great job of describing somebody who is dead to the world. They're becoming numb to the reality that they're finding themselves in, and they're merely remaining alive, merely surviving through it all. And then we see him say that he's tempted to bribe the hand of God.
That's heresy, my friend.
That's a very interesting line that I think probably every Christian could resonate with in some way. We wish we could bribe God. We wish we could kind of get out of a circumstance that we're in, or have some kind of resolve for our sin without actually going through the hard work of repentance, asking forgiveness. And he feels paralyzed, it says, while he's trying to make that decision. He's getting old. And then, yeah, a very nihilistic ending there. We're all alone until we let our minds take to the skies. An interesting way of kind of saying that you've come to terms with, hey, God's not real, and one day our minds and our souls, whatever we call it, will just kind of fizzle out, and our bodies will die, and there will be nothing left. Obviously, as a Christian, there is so much more to death than that, but I do hear that view portrayed a lot by atheists. All right, I just had to re-listen to the song because I realized that at the end, the lyrics that I was displaying in the second chorus say, it's time to stop the hand of God, I'm too tempted to bribe. The first chorus was, this life of stone, the hand of God, I'm too tempted to bribe. I saw that this time and I was like, hang on a minute. So I went and listened. There's no way that he says it's time to stop, because there's no stop time. Like there's none of those sounds. And he definitely says life of stone. So sorry for the miscommunication there on the lyrics. They'll be correct in the description, but I don't know where I got these lyrics and pasted them in, but I clearly didn't read the second chorus closely enough. So sorry about that.
Traitor.
So the bridge where everything's kind of quieter and he's singing just really high pitched, the beautiful melodies there with like a harmony everywhere. It sounds like a struggle between heart and mind. So he literally asks, what's the confliction between heart and mind? How to bridge that void and fuse the two in kinship. So he wants them to work together, but he's struggling right now. Like they're separated, they're disjointed. Oh, and then here's an interesting line. I just kind of made this connection. He talks about understanding your prospects and vistas, and yet to see the love here too. It's like prospects and vistas is of his mind, and the love here too is of his heart. It seems like a representation again of the heart, or whichever one you want to say, being the religion that he's steeped in right now, and then his mind being what he really thinks and believes. And he's trying to say, can this work? Will these work together? And then he's coming to the conclusion, no, they cannot, because he says, it's more than I can do, and I remain torn in two at the end. You know, I think that's a very honest assessment of why he would end up leaving the church. But he chose what he felt in his heart in the end. He picked himself and how he felt.
Let's be rational here.
So he's clearly ignoring the words of the prophet Jeremiah from thousands of years ago, where he says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? After this, he decides to seize the moment, sabotage the lies. His life turns on a dime. And then he says, the pressure you apply won't hold. He's made his decision to 180 and leave the church, turn away from Christianity and all that that entails. To wrap up here, he says that he will do some of the things that he said at the beginning of the song. So now he says, I will lavish in uncertainty, and I'll turn your back on everything. That's a very interesting way of saying that he wants to convince you of his side, right? A bit contradictory, but I'm sure that this is coming from an emotional place of how he feels like he wants to pull people out of this mindset. All right, well, that was an epic song. I hope this is a fair representation of Ash's thoughts on the song. I kind of went out on a limb, like I said. If he does see this, I hope he understands my heart and how I'm explaining these things, and understands that that there is a God who can provide peace. He can bridge the relationship between heart and mind. All right, guys, thanks for walking through that one with me, and we will see you next time. Bye. Hey, guys, welcome to Metal Sharpens Metal.
Traitor. You are a traitor.